Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is Dovgan. Today we're gonna talk about top 10 mistakes in ballroom frame part 2. If you didn't see that first video, go ahead and check link below, and I also will put it here above. Let's go. So for today's video, mistake number 1 will be that y'all can't find the golden middle of how much you need to bend and straighten this right arm. Sometimes she bend it a lot and also at the same time put it behind her shoulder. Yes, sometimes she straighten it that way that if boy doesn't know where his arm needs to stay, he can easily open it and it looks too straight. We need to have even balance of how much space and volume we have here and how much space we have here. So what usually happens, people very close here and then they have like this huge gap. So that's actually work of both people. Guys don't need to have wrist that low, maybe in tangle, but usually it's here, but not like hello. Yes, a little bit diagonally. And girl, yeah, she can bend elbow, and for some people it will be more if they have long arms. For some people it will be less if they have shorter. But you need to remember that this elbow doesn't go behind your shoulder, and you can't fully straighten an elbow. At least you need to rotate your elbow diagonally that way. And you need to feel that both arms going forward like that way, that I press that way, but because I also create curve, it's not like going that way too much. Yes, if girl will leave arm somewhere here and just will like depend what boy will do, this is gonna look like that. So arms to him. The next mistake will be for girl again. We'll start with the girl's mistakes. And I remembered and I forgot. Okay, I remember. Next second mistake will be when girls, especially when they just learn how to shift to the left in the frame, what they do? They got into the frame, then they stretch to the left. Yes, counterbalance it, like stretch that side, and they forgot to actually lift this elbow up, and there is no like curve. So what they need to do after they stretch to the left, yes, usually they stretch like that at first, then counterbalance with the side, so press right shoulder down, left side up. So what they need to do, they really need to keep this wrist on that level and press on the shoulder down. Yes, don't allow to do this stretch. Okay, third mistake will be that guy usually put this wrist lower than it should be and this wrist lower than it should be. I mentioned it slightly in my videos, but usually they kind of put this wrist low and this wrist low, and that's what happens. So make sure that this wrist is on a high level, like someone hang it here and keep it, and this wrist on girl's shoulder blade. And guys, make sure that this elbow, you lift it up so you have this diagonal line, and this not like that, even like straight, yes, for you straight, because for example even girl like even on the same height, you still need to do a little bit of diagonal because that's how she create that shape. And also don't forget that we're not squeezing partner to ourselves, and also we're not opening that too much. We need to have some limit, so we need to have volume around, and when we go, for example, up or we have like linear moves, we may increase that a little bit. So what I also usually notice, if either boys open that too much and girls flying everywhere, either they squeeze that girl can't do anything. So next mistake. So next mistake will be about head. A lot of people start to dance and bring the chins up forward, and also usually they turn heads to partners. So something like that, boys like to do that, maybe look straight but with chin up and crunch it here. Something like that. Or when you try to pull their head back, they start to maybe not put chin down, but like really squeeze it a lot, that they have like a double chin. And that happens a lot. Maybe in the beginning when they start to dance, it looks nice, but then during dance, for example, let's close our feet, instead of keep the diagonal, they can look at the partner, either squeeze it, either more like forward. So make sure that you have always nice line, okay, without having double chin or crunch back, crunch neck. So the next mistake when you go to frame, create connection, that so you say the distance, right now you go down, and when you go down, you basically just sit down, you move your hips backward, and even if you kind of lean on each other, your weight still on the heels. So you need to check that your hips from ribs to knees, everything goes forward, and it's not leaning on each other, and it's also not sitting on your heels backward. So that right connection, that you really feel connection, you stay on the ball of the foot, heels just like touching the floor without no weight on it, and you're not leaning on each other. So make sure that it's not when you go to the frame and also during the dance. For example, if you will go to right turn and you feel that someone is leaning, you need to check that. You need to go like down, up, and make sure that no one is leaning, no one is pushing. And the good way to practice balance is actually to dance separately or make a move, stop on the highest point, one person goes away and other person just need to stay in balance. For girls it's definitely harder, but I understand that with bigger shape sometimes it's harder to keep that huge shape by herself, but it's gonna be so beneficial if girl will able to maintain shape even without any help of the partner. The next mistake will be about diagonal, that head doesn't continue diagonal of the body. Usually that happens with boys. So for example, you close the feet on the Venus waltz, and you see he creates diagonal like from, actually that happens usually on the sides, yes, on this part, how create diagonal like knees, sides, chest, and this head continues diagonal. Sometimes boys keep it like that or straight, but it doesn't have the diagonal. Also the same when we create that frame, yes? Any stretch, so we have this, we direct legs a little bit further, then stretch here. And for example that way, yes? So sometimes boys can do either straight, either like that. So just make sure that whenever you have, like you have pretty much in each step some line, yeah? So if it's parallel, it's parallel. If it's this way, it creates that curve. If it's this way, it creates this curve, yes? So it's not like that. Usually I see that a lot of on the right turns, for example, you make a first step and you keep it head like that, yes? Instead of keeping it here, like you see on this part, not like here, when you close your feet, when like something like that happens. Good. So make sure that you keep your head right. And for the girls, they usually when they stretch left side, they put head on this part. So make sure here is a little bit difficult because when we open head, you see we have this curve, but we need to keep this curve with head closed. If we do this, it's curve, but for a girl it doesn't work because this curve is overextended to his space. So for closed head, it works that you have curve, but head going this way. For open position, it's curve as usual. Next mistake will be promenade mistake. I also mention it on my other videos, but I want to just take like as a part, and that I want you to check that you have right normal promenades everywhere. So during promenade, I see, especially let's do whisk. Yes, for example, when you have step with like inside leg, guys, open this chest there this way and have that arm here a lot, and that looks not very nice. So what you need to check that you there, and girls actually also do this. So turn shoulders to each other and bring this arm forward. So feeling in a promenade, it was on outside turn, you will feel that this arm goes like that a lot. It's not gonna go a lot like that, but that's how it feels. Because if you will try to put it straight, it will go way behind. Yeah, so we keep it, and when we make this step from the inside leg, we keep it even more. So the good exercise, you just go to wall and you walk like that, and if you feel that you're going like that, that's not the right thing to do. And you can also record yourself and check that when you have outside steps, you don't have this position. If you have this position, turn shoulders, of course, have this feeling. Actually, we also have this feeling of counterbalance inside, yes? We press to the right shoulder down and left side up. So that's, for boys, I would definitely work on this counterbalance. And for the girls, their common mistake usually in promenade, that they keep their head straight. So they need to take top of the head and don't pull it backward. Pull it backward that way. So this backward and that backward. So to the left, I would say. Yeah? So they have hips to the partner. You see that diagonal, but head this way. And in order not to push, they have this counterbalance to the right shoulder. Yes? That's how they go. And then they go to the promenade, and also they keep this all the time. Yes, so that's what girl need to check. And as I said before, on any sway, when we stretch this way, keep head still that way. Don't put your head to that space. Next mistake, which is very common, is about this shoulder blade. So girls try to press shoulder down because that's what counterbalances them in their shape to the left. They stretch, but they, instead of putting shoulder down, they squeeze shoulder blade and put this bone inside. Let me show you more. Okay, so we go, and instead of putting just shoulder down and also still stretch that side, they put in shoulder blade like that and squeeze that inside. So make sure that you push, you know how to push shoulders down, but still stretch, have this bow around directed forward, and it's not inside. Got it. And the last mistake, which I also mentioned in my videos, but I think it's essential to talk about that we're not keeping shoulders to each other all the time. We need to keep them to each other. I don't want you to, from this position, turn your shoulders like that way, but that's how it's supposed to feel. Hey!
I love you when you call me señorita. I wish I could pretend I never need you or meet you, but every touch is ooh la la la. It's true la la la. Ooh, I should be running. Da 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 da. Nothing at home.
So I don't want you to turn your shoulders to each other like fully, because then you will overturn. I want you to stretch to the left, each like your left, me left, and also direct your chest to the right. So you see there is difference, turn shoulders or stretch to the left and direct your chest to the right. It looks that this part direct diagonally. So let's say your boobies need to be directed to each other. Yeah, so we stretch that way and direct boobies to each other, and without no hips. So then I want you on any move, like outside steps, outside turn, keep them this way. So not outside, yes, and not even like parallel. Yeah, because if we'll keep just parallel without direct boobies to each other, we're gonna have that problem with arm, and we're not gonna have that connected look rather than we have here. And also in a promenade, we're also direct to each other. So we have kind of this feeling. Can you straighten your arms like this? And also when we dance here, yes? So it's not fully like that, belly to belly. But if you keep this right side right and you're not like, how to say?
Sliding.
Yes, and you're not sliding. And you direct your boobies to each other at the diagonal stretch, that's what you're gonna have. Usually people stay in the frame like that, but they're not maintaining that during the whole dance, especially on the outside steps. Yes, so just go outside me, like quick open reverse for example, and go, yes, if you're gonna like keep it like here, you see what happens to our frame, so we need to have it this way. Okay, guys, I hope you like this video. Subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up. You can write down any comments below, I will answer. It's better to write down some related comments, but I can also chat with you about different stuff. And please guys, record yourself, take a look. Do you have these mistakes or maybe not? Also take a look at other couples. That will be very useful for you to check that. See you on my next videos. Bye bye.